Wasn't that long ago that you had very few SUVs available in the Indian market, very little choice, especially for the mass market models. Boy, has that changed. Now you have not just one, but several different segments of SUVs to choose from. You might want to also remember that there's a lot of information coming at you. Advertising, all these different websites, everybody's always telling you things that will confuse you in terms of where each of these SUVs is slotted. Well, that's what I'm here for, to try and tell you about the different segments of SUVs in the Indian SUV market and the options in those segments. So let's start with the most basic end of the market in terms of size and footprint, the micro SUV. The Tata Punch is pretty much the only player that operates here. Now, you could argue that the Maruti Suzuki Espresso belongs here, but yes, that is an argument that has no solution or end, so I won't go there. But yes, the Punch has really managed to set this space up. Hopefully, we'll have the Hyundai Casper driving in by next year to give it some competition. Now, as we move to the next segment, there's been a lot of confusion of late with people making comparisons between the Tata Punch and this, the Nissan Magnite, or its twin, the Renault Kiger. Let me set the record straight. They do not belong to the same segment. This is where we step in to the subcompact SUV space at the bottom end of it. So you have the Magnite, you have the Tata Nexon, don't forget, and of course the Renault Kiger. The Ford EcoSport has sadly bowed out, but we do have a lot more cars in this segment, and even a specialty vehicle, the off-roading brute, Mahindra Thar. Now, what used to be the Vitara Brezza, now in its second generation, is just called the Brezza. That kind of bridges this two ends of the spectrum when it comes to the subcompact SUV space. Now, this is one segment which has the rare distinction in the Indian market of having products that have all fired. They've all done well in terms of their sales, in terms of their production. And so cars like the Hyundai Venue or the Kia Sonet are the ones that have really expanded this segment by making it more premium, by taking it to the top end in terms of really being feature rich and loaded with a whole lot of goodies and gadgets. Now, the subcompact SUV space has been expanding and growing really smartly. I can tell you that for over a decade now, the fastest growing segment in the Indian car market has been this, the compact SUV. It's also a space that's starting to get pretty crowded now. 2022 will be the year where we'll really see a lot of action in this segment because, again, the segment has been really stretched out. So you've got cars like this, the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Car and Bike 2022 Car of the Year, and also cars like its twin, the Skoda Kushaq, and then the big ones in terms of volume, the segment-defining car, the Hyundai Creta, very much in this segment. There's lots more, of course, and there are new additions coming this year. Now, very often in communication or advertising, you'll hear about cars being called mid-size SUV. They are not cars like the Hyundai Creta. It is this that is a mid-size SUV. The new Hyundai Tucson, the Jeep Compass, they definitely qualify. But this segment also has a peculiarity because you've got cars like this which have a similar footprint, but which offer 3-row seating. So, XUV 700, even the Hector Plus, and a bunch of others. segment is expanding. And there are two cars that also belong here on size, though their much higher pricing puts them into the entry premium category. But it does not end there. The segment also boasts the 7-seaters.
And then you've got the real big daddy. The car that really defines the full-size SUV segment has always been the Toyota Fortuner. This has dominated sales and has also defined all the benchmarks in this space. The Ford Endeavour has sadly exited because that was a very crucial part of this space. But luckily, the Fortuner is not all alone.
We hope that this helps you to better understand the complex and crowded mass SUV brand market in India.